Rams, golf, or Wolford? We're going to find out. And all the usual fun and frivolity that Cap delivers here on 710. Let's do it. No waiting. It's time for the Scott Kaplan Show on 710 ESPN.
Don't get it twisted, homegirl.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I am glad to be back on the radio tonight. Man, I've been sitting in my home studio here, chomping at the bit, waiting to get on the air. I watched the Laker game. I watched the Laker postgame show. I listened to the Laker postgame show with Sliwa on 710. I even listened to part of the Laker game on 710 tonight. And now I got the whole game restarted for me right now on Spectrum. So if you're just getting with us tonight, man, I am so happy to be back on the air with everybody. I'm telling you right now, I am like addicted to this radio station. And over the holidays, particularly in the month of December, when I was filling in for George Sedano and I was running around with LZ for weeks, and I filled in for Steve Mason and I got to hang out with John Ireland for a few weeks. And then when everybody decided to go off the air, they're like, hey, it's Christmas. Who's the Jewish guy who works here? I'm like, yo, I got it. I got it covered. And I was on the air every single day hosting Mason and Ireland, hosting Sedano and LZ. Alan Sliwa was working the Scott Kaplan Show at night. And so it's been about a week, because last week it was Monday we were on the air. And then we went off the air the rest of the week, enjoyed the New Year's and the holiday. And here we are back for our first broadcast on 710 in 2021. Now, let me just say something. 2021 is going to be a better year than 2020. 2020 was a rough year. I don't have to recap it for everybody. You know it. You're living it, okay? COVID has impacted people's lives, and it's gotten to the point now where, especially in LA County, you don't have to go very far. There's no 6 degrees of separation before you probably know somebody that has COVID, has recently had COVID. I've got friends right now that are battling it. Some who just lost taste in their mouth and they lost their smell, and others who are coughing up their lungs and have terrible headaches and their bodies don't stop aching. So I get it, man. 2021 is going to have to be a better year than 2020. But let me tell you guys how we're going to start off the new year here on the Scott Kaplan Show on 710 ESPN. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go multi-platform, multimedia, audio, video, and we're going to be everywhere you might be. So here goes. Tonight, if you're driving around and you're listening on the radio on 710, because it's easy. Hey, you got in your car, you turned on your radio, you went to 710, the Lakers were playing, you like John Ireland, you like Michael Thompson, you're like, oh, Sliwa's breaking it down after the game. Sliwa's going to tell me how great LeBron James is even at 36 years old. Sliwa's going to sit here and drool all over LeBron. He's unbelievable. And Slee's my man. Slee's my go-to guy, okay? Been with that kid for 20 years. So we're getting on the air tonight, and we're going to do something totally different here now. Okay, something totally different, something so cool, millennial, and 2021. Here goes. While we're broadcasting right now on 710, because like I said, it was easy, and you were listening to the Lakers, and now you're just getting caught up with what's going on here, and Kaplan's live on the air. But wait a second. We're live right now on Twitter. If you go to Twitter at ESPN Los Angeles, we are live. You and me are hanging out on a Tuesday night, the second night of the new broadcast year. We're hanging out together. I'm home. I'm in my home studio. I got Janice from our social media team. She's at home tonight. She's running this operation on the video side. I got the Lakers game going on over here. I got the election stuff down in Georgia going on over here. And we're literally all together on every platform. If you are on Twitter at ESPN Los Angeles, we're live. I'm watching the video right now. If you are a Twitch user, does everybody hip to Twitch? Everybody know what's going on with the world of Twitch? If you go to Twitch right now and you go to twitch.tv, for those of you who don't know, let me just explain it to you. Twitch is kind of that platform for gamers where they're playing Fortnite and you're watching them play. And even like big celebrities who love gaming find themselves playing on Twitch. If you go to twitch.tv/ESPN Los Angeles, we're doing a live video stream on Twitch right now. If you go to our Facebook page, and this is just go to ESPN Los Angeles on Facebook, there we are. We're doing a live broadcast right now. Doing it live. And the only one I haven't mentioned yet, and I got to go check it out, is on YouTube. Because YouTube is another place. If you go to ESPN Los Angeles on YouTube, we are on. And I will say this, I'm looking for likes on YouTube. In fact, wait a second, I'm not going to get any likes. I just turned on YouTube. I'm the only person watching on YouTube right now, just so you know. I'm the only person watching. So if you're driving down the road and you're listening on 710, no sweat, man. You know, just when you get home and it's safe, go onto your phone and check us out. We're on YouTube. Although here comes my very first YouTube viewer of 2021, Coach Perez. What's up, Coach? How you doing tonight, man? And by the way, we have a live chat going on right now. It's just me and Coach Perez, but there is a live chat going on right now in our YouTube channel. So here's what I want to say to everybody. I hope that you had a wonderful Christmas holiday. I hope you got everything you wanted. I hope that you gave everything and gave great gifts and made other people happy. It could have been a card that you wrote and some feelings that you wrote down, or it could have been some material item. Listen, I'll tell you this right now. I stressed a lot, man. I stressed over my girlfriend and getting her a gift, and was it enough? Did I get the right thing? She tells me every night how much she loves the pajamas and loves the new slippers, and it makes me feel great. I got a Theragun, dude. A Theragun. You guys know what a Theragun is? Dude, I use this thing all day long. I'm walking around all day long, just massaging myself, making these noises. Oh my God, that's unbelievable. Oh yeah, it hurts. I love this gift. It's great. So I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas holiday. I hope you had a terrific New Year. Hopefully you got a chance to celebrate, even if it was just you and your family and the people who live in your house, and you couldn't be around a whole bunch of people and parties. Just listen, let's hold on just a little bit longer, okay? Vaccines are being delivered around the country. I know what's going on in the hospital system around LA. Let's hold on a little longer here, and let's make sure 2021 is a much better year than 2020. We're starting it off tonight on 710 ESPN on the Scott Kaplan Show. We're starting it off tonight, multimedia, multi-platform. So again, 710 radio, easy. You're in your car, turn it on. Twitch, ESPN Los Angeles. Facebook, the ESPN Los Angeles page. Twitter, at ESPN Los Angeles. And YouTube. I'm starting to see it now. Here come a whole bunch of people on YouTube, and we've got a live chat going on. So wherever you're at, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching, I hope you're having a great night. You just saw the Lakers beat Memphis. Let me tell you something right now. I thought in the early part of the season, let's not really get too analytical. Let's not get too critical. Let's let this team work itself into shape. Well, already you're seeing that this team, led by LeBron and AD, and in a night like tonight where they both scored 26 points, to say that they're in mid-season form may be a bit of an exaggeration, but here's what I can tell you. I don't have a whole ton of criticism when they're winning games. I don't want to criticize how much they're winning by, who's available for the other team, who's not available, how they're winning, how many points they're scoring or giving up. They're winning games. They've just gone on the road. And now in this crazy year where there's nobody in the arenas, look, it was weird in the bubble, but it's even stranger to watch now on TV in these giant arenas. When I watch games from Staples, it looks dark and kind of dreary a little bit. Where I watched tonight in Memphis, and it looks a little bit brighter, just the way they've got the tarps over the seats. But it's a weird start to the year already. But I'll just say this. The Lakers are off to a really great start. I think LeBron looks terrific. AD, you talk about AD not wanting to play center. You know why? Because he wants to run the point. It's amazing to see this guy bring the ball up the floor, shoot three-pointers, work through the paint, get great passes, put down dunks. The guy is it's so hard to believe that you could be this big and this athletic. So Lakers off to an amazing start, incredible start to the season, okay? To go on the road, to play these now back-to-backs, to win 2 straight series on the road. Very, very impressive. Lakers winners tonight, 94-92. Actually, they had a pretty sizable lead with about I don't know, a minute or so to go. And then there was one mistake where LeBron had the ball. It was inbounded in the paint and it was stolen, and Memphis scored quickly, and it just made the score look closer. Look, it was more of like a 6 to 8 point win. LeBron, especially at the end, this fadeaway that he's got is so Jordan-esque. You may not want to hear that, but you remember how Michael Jordan late in his career stopped flying through the paint and just kept working that fadeaway? Ooh, that is LeBron. His fadeaway is looking deadly. So look, we're just getting rolling. LeBron, AD, Lakers, victorious tonight. We're back on the air tonight. We'll be back for a full 3-hour show tomorrow night. Tonight, I want to tell you this, that with the basketball game on, and then with Alan Slewa doing post-game Laker talk, I'm about to switch the topic drastically. So here goes. Rams fans, let's talk about it. Rams fans, where are you tonight? I want to talk to you tonight, Rams fans. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. I want to load up Rams calls. Hello. Is this thing on? Is anybody out there? Hello. I know that the Laker game ended and then the Laker talk happened, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, they're getting ready to go to network radio. Good night. We're live. We're on the air. It's 8:54 p.m. on Tuesday, January 5th. We are live. So I want to talk to the Rams fans. Let me ask you a question. Tell me what you think about this. I'll say this right now, and I'll back it up and I'll explain my position. Here goes. John Wolford, the undrafted young quarterback that had never attempted a pass in an NFL game, who finds himself in Week 17 in a playoff game against Arizona, a must-win and you're in, John Wolford performed. He wasn't spectacular, but he also didn't kill you. And on his first pass in an NFL regular season game, picked and almost taken to the house. And this kid is sitting on the sideline, not with his eyes like he's a deer in headlights, rather sitting back chilling like, I got this. Don't worry about it. No, it's cool. It's cool. I got this. And then you read about it the next day. He's like, yeah, when I was in high school, we were playing in this monster game, and my very first pass was a pick, and I got to the sideline. I chilled out. I came back. I had a monster game. I was able to call on that experience in my career. Here's what I'm going to tell you. John Wolford gives the Rams a better chance to win this weekend against Seattle. I'm not saying he's a better quarterback. I'm not saying Jared Goff is done. I'm not like one of these people who's just so anti-Jared Goff right now. I'm just here to tell you that because of Goff's injury, I find it very hard to believe that 2 weeks after breaking your thumb and having it surgically repaired, that you're going to be ready for an NFL playoff game to grip the football and throw it. And by the way, here's the other thing. Jared Goff doesn't like to run. We've learned a lot about him this year. One of the things he's not good at is running with the football. Too many times Jared Goff has open field and can pick up 6-7 yards. He either attempts to slide, attempts to throw the ball away, can turn into a pick, and he doesn't pick up the yardage that a guy like Wolford was able to this past weekend, 50-plus rushing yards. I'm telling you this. I'm not saying Wolford is the future. I'm not saying he's going to be the starting quarterback. I'm not saying he's the better quarterback. I'm saying right now, 100% of John Wolford is better than 65% of Jared Goff. So Rams fans, let's talk about this tonight. Let's have this conversation. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. If Jared Goff is healthy enough and cleared to play, do you think Jared Goff should be the quarterback, or would you rather stick with John Wolford? I want to talk about the Rams situation against Seattle. I want to talk about all the old guy quarterbacks that are in these playoffs. Breeze, Brady, Roethlisberger, Rivers, Rodgers. I mean, all the old guys are in the playoffs. It's incredible. I got a lot of NFL playoff talk I want to get to. The Cleveland Browns being decimated by COVID and having to go to Pittsburgh where they just barely won to get in. I want to get into that story. So much to get to tonight and so little time. We're just getting on the air. You want to jump in? Now's the time. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. We're underway in 2021 on the radio, on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook. Scott Kaplan on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Keyshawn.
You ready?
LA's mega sports lineup.
Are you ready?
On LA's mega sports station. Start your day with me, Keyshawn, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Keyshawn, Jay Will, Zubin, and Travis Rogers. Here with you each weekday morning. Mike Greenberg, Greeny is back on your radio from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. At 11, you loved him for years on 710. Max is back. Max Kellerman for your lunch hour. And at 1 p.m., my guys Mason and Ireland are back in middays until 4 p.m. How about a little afternoon flavor with George Sedano and LZ Granderson? Sedano and LZ until 7. And the LA Sports Talk Now don't stop until 10 p.m. each weeknight. Scott Kaplan holds it down at night.
The all-new 710.
Don't get it twisted, homeboy. The best sports talk in LA on 710 ESPN.
On 710 ESPN. Sports Station.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Good night. Good Tuesday. It's Scott Kaplan on 710 ESPN. Happy to be back on these radio airwaves and happy to be going 2021 on you. We are live tonight on Twitch. All you have to do is go to twitch.tv/ESPN Los Angeles. We're live on our YouTube channel. Got a YouTube chat going on right now. So if you want to get in on that, go for it. We are live on the ESPN Los Angeles Facebook page, and we are also live at ESPN Los Angeles on Twitter. Okay, let me throw this at you guys and tell me what you think here. Look, I have been very critical of Sean McVay over the last few weeks. And the reason I was critical was, look, you can blame everything you want to on Jared Goff, but I found plenty of things that I could find to be critical of coaching, whether it's delay of game penalties or unsportsmanlike conduct penalties for coming off the bench late in the game and backing your team up, or play calling along the goal line, or play calling when you're in the red zone. I mean, I have picked apart everything that's gone on with this Rams team all season long. And I even said last week, and I know that there were a lot of people that kind of gave me the business for saying it. I said last week, Sean McVay's overrated. I also did throw in this one caveat, just so you know. I threw in one caveat. I said, if the Rams beat the Cardinals, I'll probably come back next week and say Sean McVay's not overrated. So here I am. He found a way to coach his team to a win when they absolutely had to have it. Talk about must-win situations during the regular season. Well, this past weekend was a must-win situation. Now, could the Rams have still made it into the playoffs had they lost? Yes, they could have. But win and you're in, that was the circumstances that the Rams found themselves in. Not only did they find themselves in win and you're in circumstances, they don't have their starting quarterback. They don't have one of their star defensive players. They don't have their star wide receiver. They've got all kinds of problems. They don't have their best offensive lineman, and they're down to the last game, and they've got to win this game. And I'm yapping on the radio all week last week that Sean McVay's overrated. Well, here I am. Coach, just so you know, here I'm at. That sounded really good, right? Like, here I'm at. Here I am, Coach. I'm here to say that what you did this past weekend was pretty amazing. I'm not saying that the play of John Wolford was spectacular, and I didn't expect it to be spectacular, but it was better than I expected because the kid didn't come in and look scared. The moment wasn't too big. By the way, who's out there that is a producer, a writer, a director that works for Disney that says this is a Disney story right here? And by the way, it could even get better, right? I mean, it really could even get better because if Goff can't play and Wolford takes the Rams and goes on the road and wins against Seattle, the story is getting bigger and better with each victory. But he's got a lot of work to do between now and this weekend to take on Seattle. Seattle's defense has greatly improved. You saw the Rams there 2 weeks ago lose 20-9 with their starting quarterback. And yes, there were mistakes on his part. But there was also a 1st and goal on the 1 yard line, and the Rams offense couldn't punch the ball in the end zone. So I'll ask you guys this question, and I'll make this statement. The question is, if Goff is cleared to play, would you rather have Goff this weekend, or would you rather have Wolford this weekend? And then I'll back it up with this statement. The Rams have a better chance to win with Wolford at quarterback than they do with Goff at quarterback this week. Here's why. What is the likelihood that Jared Goff can grip the football with a broken thumb that was surgically repaired less than 2 weeks ago? Look, I'll tell you this. I saw Phillip Rivers one time early in his career, probably around the same age as Goff, have a knee surgery on Monday and play in an AFC championship game on Sunday. The Chargers didn't win that game, but he was a warrior and played. And as I recall, played pretty well. Jared Goff hadn't been playing particularly well. If you would listen to a guy like Troy Aikman, who was calling these games on Fox, he was saying that he's lost his confidence. The team has lost their confidence in him. I would say this. A fully healthy John Wolford, who is pretty good at running the football. Okay? I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he's pretty darn good. He had over 50 rushing yards. He knew when to get down. He knew how to protect the ball. He knew when to get out of bounds. He knew when to pick up a few extra yards. I think John Wolford did a very, very admirable job in what was a brutally tough situation. What do I expect out of him this week? Well, you better be able to score to keep up with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, and the Seattle defense has improved significantly as the year has gone on. So it's going to take an amazing effort from a guy who's a young player who has not played other than one game in his career in the playoffs in a very tough place to play, minus the fact that there are no fans in the stands. So I'll throw it to you guys this way. What do you think? Who would you rather have play quarterback? Would you rather have Jared Goff, injured, coming off of a thumb surgery? By the way, Sean McVay said today, I'm not telling you who our starting quarterback is. Well, Coach, what if Goff is available? I'm not going to say anything. Why would he? Why would McVay say anything? Today's Tuesday. Game's on Saturday. Don't say anything. Don't tell anybody anything. Let Seattle prepare for both. Let Seattle sit and wonder who's going to be the starting quarterback. Don't say a word, Coach. You don't know anybody anything. But I'll tell you that I think the kid Wolford, based on the way he ran the ball, protected the ball, and it was that one bad interception with his first pass, generally speaking, I thought he did a nice job managing the game. Managing the game is what you say when somebody doesn't lose it for you and they don't really go out and win it for you. They just sort of manage the game. I thought he did a really good job. I don't think he's a long-term answer, but I do got to say to the Rams front office, hey, great job. I criticized you guys last week for not having a veteran backup in case you get to this situation. You needed your backup to win you a game. He did it. Success. By the way, you didn't have to go spend a couple $1 million on a backup quarterback. Great job, Les Snead. Didn't know. Kid proved it. Will he be able to do it again on the road, his second game in the playoffs, pressure cooker situation? We'll find out this weekend. But I'll say this. Wolford gives the Rams the better chance to win right now, given the Goff injury. What do you say? 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. So again, Happy New Year to everybody. Scott Kaplan on the airwaves of 710. First show of 2021. We're on radio. We're video on Twitch, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. So wherever you're watching or listening, we're glad to have you tonight on Tuesday. Let me say good evening to my man Curtis Poindexter, who is producing from our downtown LA studios. Curtis, Happy New Year, my man. All right. There's my man. Curtis, this is broadcasting in the
What's up?
What's up? What's up, dude?
Oh, I didn't hear a sound effect there. I didn't hear the cue for it. Just chilling, hanging out, trying to get us through this quick show.
This is a quickie tonight. We're off the air at 10 o'clock. We didn't get on the air till about 8:40. Have to yield to LeBron and AD and then Alan Sliwa in the post game. We gladly yield, but we're on the air now. So, Curtis, good holiday, good Christmas, good New Year. How you feeling, man? You doing good?
Man, I haven't talked to you since Thanksgiving, it feels like. That's how long it's felt.
That's because the whole month of December, dude, I was filling in for George Sedano. I was filling in for Steve Mason. I mean, I was doing the Mason and Ireland thing. I was doing the Sedano and LZ thing. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, everything's good. I'm just glad the 2020's behind us and I'm over it and ready to look ahead. That's all we can do, right?
All right. Well, listen, we have a great show coming up tonight. I got a lot of things I want to talk about. And then tomorrow night, we're back on the air for the full 3 hours. Tonight, I've decided to go guest free. I wanted to open up the phones and see where the Rams fans are out there tonight. I wanted to see what you guys had to say about this quarterback situation. The phones are open. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. I have no idea if this thing's working tonight. Hello. I have no idea if this thing is working tonight. Are you out there? Hello. So look, if you want to get in, go for it. Would love to hear from you guys. Missed you guys and glad to be back on the air tonight. I'll tell you something else I want to talk about coming right back. I said I'd be shocked if the San Diego Chargers of Inglewood would fire their coach because they owed him $7+ million on a 1-year contract extension. In my history with the Charger organization, they're way too cheap to ever pay somebody to just go away. But you know what they did? They bit the $7 million bullet and they fired Anthony Lynn. Why did they do it? And who's going to be the next head coach of the Chargers, which is still their effort to get onto the sports landscape of LA? Let me talk about the firing of and who's next for the Chargers, and then let me get your calls on the Wolford versus Goff situation. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. I'm coming right back with that. This is Scott Kaplan on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Keyshawn.
You ready?
LA's mega sports lineup.
Are you ready?
On LA's mega sports station.
Start your day with me, Keyshawn, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Keyshawn, Jay Will, Zubin, and Travis Rogers. Here with you each weekday morning. Mike Greenberg, Greeny is back on your radio from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. At 11, you loved him for years on 710. Max is back. Max Kellerman for your lunch hour. And at 1 p.m., my guys Mason and Ireland are back in middays until 4 p.m.
How about a little afternoon flavor with George Sedano and LZ Granderson?
Sedano and LZ until 7. And the LA Sports Talk Now don't stop until 10 p.m. each weeknight. Scott Kaplan holds it down at night.
The all-new 710.
Don't get it twisted, homeboy. The best sports talk in LA on 710 ESPN.
On 710 ESPN.
and exclusions apply.
LA Sports Talk Now goes until 10 p.m. each weeknight on 710.
LA's mega sports station.
This is the Scott Kaplan Show.
It's Scott Kaplan, live and local on 710 ESPN.
All right, it's Tuesday night. Scott Kaplan on 710 ESPN. What's going on, everybody? Telling you right now, man, I was on the radio every day in the month of December, filling in for Sedano, filling in for Mason, and then all of a sudden, we were on the air last week, and then off the air for the rest of the week, and then even Monday nights, Laker talk, and then tonight with a Laker game, Lakers victorious 94-92 over Memphis, 4 straight on the road for the Lakers. LeBron and AD both with 26 points tonight. So we're just getting back. Tonight's our first night of 2021, and we're going so super cool millennial 2021 on you tonight. We are on the radio on 710, obviously. We're worldwide on the ESPN app, and now tonight, where we've got a YouTube live stream going. By the way, I think it's so cool that we've got a YouTube live stream that I now know how to put YouTube on my smart TV, and I'm actually talking, watching the Laker replay, and I got myself on my big screen on YouTube. I'm feeling super 2021 right about now.
Are you screencasting yourself?
Dude, you got to see it. I swear to you, you got to see it.
I've done it with my phone before. It's pretty interesting.
Dude, I'm going to go Instagram live and show you what's going on. I mean, what do I need to show you for? It's on YouTube, it's on Twitch, it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter. It's unbelievable. We're on every single platform going. We're doing audio on radio. We're doing video digitally. It's really, really cool. All right, listen, if you're just getting with us, I'm going to get to your phone calls in 1 second because I want to hear what you have to say about the Rams going to Seattle. And my point, which is this: John Wolford gives the Rams the better chance to win, even if Jared Goff is cleared to play. I find it very hard to believe that 2 weeks after having thumb surgery, Jared Goff's going to be able to grip the ball and throw it effectively. But more of my concern is the fact that Goff clearly is uncomfortable running the football. And to me, that's where Wolford did a better job of managing the game and knowing his limitations. So for me, I'll take 100% healthy Wolford over a 65% healthy Goff right now this week. I'm coming to your calls in 1 second. But I did mention the Chargers and Anthony Lynn. And here's what I said to you. I said I would never believe that the Chargers would fire him because they gave him a contract extension at $7+ million. Ridiculous to pay this coach this much money. But okay, John Gruden's making $10 million and he's an 8-8 coach. Anthony Lynn is making $7.5 million and he's a 7-9 coach. But Anthony Lynn gets fired. Dylan Hernandez wrote in the LA Times on Monday that the Chargers have to fire Anthony Lynn if they want to be taken seriously. LA is a city of champions and championship expectations. Lakers champions this year. Dodgers champions. Rams in the playoffs, a chance. Not a great one, but a chance. The Chargers are immaterial. They don't show up. They don't register. They don't have a Q rating. Nobody knows who they are. So the point was made, you got to fire this guy if you want people to take you seriously. And that's what the Chargers did. Was I shocked? You're darn right I was shocked. The Chargers are traditionally cheap. They don't pay people to sit on the beach. But I will say this. If you're willing to spend the $12 million and you're willing to go out and get a guy like Urban Meyer, go do it. I want to see it. I don't think it'll work, but I want to see it. Urban Meyer is not Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll was a not a good NFL coach who became a great college coach who's now become a great NFL coach. Urban Meyer has been a really great college coach, but he's always been the kind of guy that every time something gets hot, he bounces and then blames it on his health. Somebody's going to pay him $12 million. He should come coach. The Chargers traditionally go out and hire guys who want to be a head coach, who don't demand being the highest paid guy, and can be controlled like a puppet. If that's who they go out and get, You're just entrusting the team to the same guys who've been running it to 7-9 for all these years. Good luck, Chargers. You got a superstar quarterback. You got to get the coach right. You got a big shot right now. Let me go to the calls. Scott Kaplan tonight on 710 ESPN. Let me find out what you guys think about my Rams take tonight, that John Wolford gives the Rams the better chance against Seattle than Jared Goff. Right now, here's Eric in L.A. checking in on Scott Kaplan. What's going on, Eric?
You know, Scott, first of all, you're on fire, okay? The whole reason why the Rams drafted Goff was to get that L.A. market, and that's what they did, and it was a mistake. And McVay, I'm not going to say he's overrated, but I will say this. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and the defensive coordinator carried this team this year. There's a reason why there's about 4 teams right now that's wanting Staley?
Mm-hmm.
Staley as their head coach because he's that good. I'm with you, man. There's 2 people as an LA sports fan that I have yelled at the most at my TV. That is Dave Roberts and Jared Goff. Okay? And Wolford, the difference between Wolford and Goff is this. Wolford runs on a 3-10, on a 3-8, runs for 9 yards between 2 guys and runs for that first down. While Jared Goff, the previous game, on a 3rd and 8, slides for 7 yards and runs short for the first down.
That's right. And Troy Aikman, what did Troy Aikman say? Troy Aikman said there's a time to slide and there's a time where you got to go get it. Jared Goff decided to slide, but that was a time where you got to go get it. Let me ask you a question real quick, Eric. You say that it was a mistake. I would say this. Drafting Jared Goff to me wasn't a mistake, but I would question giving him the contract they gave him as soon as they did. Might that prove to be the mistake?
And I agree with that. Well, and I ask myself this question all the time. What if the Rams what if they drafted Carson Wentz? What would he do in a Sean McVay system? It might
get hurt.
Be different.
Get hurt is what he do. Carson Wentz, let me tell you something really quick. Eric, great call tonight, by the way, and I appreciate you telling me I'm in Fuego because it's my first night back on the air, and I couldn't wait to get back, and I couldn't wait to be with people like yourself. Thank you, man. Listen, the Philadelphia Eagles are in the same situation the Rams are in. The only difference is that the coach-quarterback relationship has reportedly been fractured, and the Eagles are actually on the hook for more money. Jared Goff, to me, is not done. Jared Goff, though, obviously has a lot of work to do with his decision-making, okay? When should I run? When should I slide? When should I go for the boundary? When should I throw the ball away and avoid the sack? When should I take a risk and throw the ball? He's got a lot of work to do on his decision-making. But I don't think John Wolford's the answer, and I don't think the Rams are getting out from underneath that contract anytime soon. Here's Mike in L.A. on Scott Kaplan on 710 ESPN. Mike, talk to me.
Hey, Scott. I agree with the other guy wholeheartedly. I'll take it a step further, Scott. I don't want to see Jared Goff in a Ram uniform next year. You trade for Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold, Marcus Mariota. You hit it right on. The guy uses his legs. You use him in the bootleg. Jared Goff, to me, he lost me when he slid 1 yard short. Could you imagine being in the locker room, Scott, with those guys and looking him in the face and he slides 1 yard short of the first down? He lost me. He lost Los Angeles. That guy needs to pack his stuff and get out of town.
Wow. All right. Listen, Mike, I'm feeling you, man. I mean, look, there's a lot of people that have absolutely given up on Goff. But here's the question. Do you think Wolford gives you a better chance against Seattle? This is a guy who's only playing in his second game. And I know a lot of people will look at his first game and they'll go, look how well he played. But can I just remind everybody that Arizona kind of stinks, right? Like Arizona was without Kyler Murray for most of the game. There was no Larry Fitzgerald, even though he's at his advanced age. There was not a lot to go on that offense. And the defense of the Rams, which is their number one unit and the number one unit in the NFL, you know what the Rams defense did, which it needed to do in a game like this? They scored points. You needed the defense to step up and score points. And they did with a pick six. So, look, we saw John Wolford play decently. In fact, forget it, better than decently. He played well. For his first start in that situation, I think he played pretty well. But you're talking about a different defense in Seattle. They're not the same defense they were in the first half of the season. And you're talking about an offense with Russell Wilson. What are you expecting out of John Wolford this week? I still think he gives you the best chance because I do not believe Goff will be able to grip the football and throw it. And even if he could, most of you out there would be like, I don't want him to throw it. Here's Lionel in Northridge checking in on Scott Kaplan on 710 ESPN. Lionel, what's going on, man?
Scott, how are you tonight?
How you doing? Happy New Year.
Good. Happy New Year. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet and say Wolford, Wolfman, Wolfie, Ford F-150, whatever you want to call this man. He was running like a Ford F-150 in that game. He picked up, 56 yards, not a whole lot, but enough. He made a bad pass in, the first pass that he had. But other than that, I think he controlled the game. He made the right decisions. He got out of the pocket when he needed to. He converted third downs. So, as a fan, there's not much to complain about, especially since we got the W.
Yep. Listen, I'm with you on that. I mean, I got to give credit to Les Snead because the week before I was saying, guys, what are you doing? How do you not have a 10-year veteran quarterback, a guy who's played a bunch in his career, a guy who's satisfied? He's not trying to steal your job. He's not backstabbing you. He's there to help you. A good veteran backup quarterback in the NFL is like a really good caddy in golf, and the Rams just don't have one. But they didn't have to spend a lot of money on a backup quarterback this year, so they could put money elsewhere. And they didn't need him to do anything except play one game. And in the one game that they needed him to play, he got the job done. But listen, he's going to play again this week. I mean, I know that Sean McVay doesn't want to say who's going to be the starting quarterback, and he doesn't have to. We can all figure it out for ourselves. Not very likely to see Jared Goff on the field this weekend against Seattle. All right, I want to go through these playoff matchups, and I definitely want to keep it going. This is why I couldn't wait to get back on the air tonight. I know we've got great callers, great listeners here on 710. If you want to jump in, 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. I've mentioned to you tonight that, we're broadcasting on radio throughout LA and throughout Southern California, but we're also tonight live streaming on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch, and our live video stream is being presented by our friends at Puente Hills Toyota. Puente Hills Toyota, the house of yes. Yeah. La Casa de Sí is what we're talking about at Puente Hills Toyota.
Ya sabes.
Sí, es muy bien, right?
Órale.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Curtis Poindexter. All right, listen, if you got to get in tonight, if you got to talk about this, let's do it. 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-3776. Coming up, my favorite part of these NFL playoffs is singular. The old guy quarterbacks, plural. A lot of old guys going at it. Guys who might be playing their last games. Could this be it for Tom Brady? Could Drew Brees be finished? Might we have seen the end of Phillip Rivers? Ben Roethlisberger is always threatening retirement. I mean, the old guy quarterbacks have come through this year in a big way. I want to get to that coming up, and let's go. Hey, listen, Rams fans, you wanted to talk Rams football. You're back in the playoffs. You got to get Andrew Whitworth back this week. You got to get Cooper Kupp back this week. And you got to have an offensive game plan that protects a young quarterback. All right, you want to jump in? You got the numbers. This is Scott Kaplan on 710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Keyshawn.
You ready?
LA's mega sports lineup.
Are you ready? On LA's mega sports station.
Start your day with me, Keyshawn, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Keyshawn, Jay Will, Zubin, and Travis Rogers. Here with you each weekday morning. Mike Greenberg, Greeny is back on your radio from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. At 11, you loved him for years on 710. Max is back. Max Kellerman for your lunch hour. And at 1 p.m., my guys Mason and Ireland are back in middays until 4 p.m.
How about a little afternoon flavor with George Sedano and LZ Granderson?
Sedano and LZ until 7. And the LA Sports Talk Now don't stop until 10 p.m. each weeknight. Scott Kaplan holds it down at night.
The all-new 710.
Don't get it twisted, homeboy. The best sports talk in LA on 710 ESPN.
On 710 ESPN.
No contract, no compromise. Straight talk. Limitations and exclusions apply.
And we know the commute doesn't stop at 7 p.m. And you're not done talking about your teams. Southern California sports radio legend Scott Kaplan handles the 710 nightcap till 10 p.m.
All your LA sports talk with a lot of fun and a lot of Cap doing his thing.
It is the Scott Kaplan Show.
710 ESPN. LA's mega sports station.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Scott Kaplan on the first broadcast of 2021 here on 710 ESPN. Not only are we broadcasting on the radio, but we're cool, we're young, we're happening, we're millennial, we're multi-platform. We are on twitch.tv/ESPN Los Angeles. We've got a live stream going with a live chat happening right now on YouTube. If you just follow ESPN Los Angeles, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. If you're following along on Twitter because you're multitasking tonight, you can be listening, you can be watching, and you can be hanging out with us tonight at ESPN Los Angeles on Twitter. And if you're a YouTuber, if you're old school like that, if you're a Facebooker and you're old school like that, we're there as well. Hey, I'm watching the Laker game as it just went to halftime. The game's long over, everybody. The Lakers won tonight 94-92. They finished a 4-game road trip where they won all 4 games, 2 against San Antonio, 2 against Memphis in this strange new NBA season that they're playing in, where you're playing these back-to-back games in series, if you will. And the Lakers have come out hot against San Antonio and Memphis tonight. LeBron, 26 points, AD, 26 points, and it's a pretty close game late in the game, and LeBron kind of takes it over. AD hits a huge 3, and then they just kind of held on to win 94-92 and get back for Thursday night when they've got Chicago coming into town, San Antonio, and then Chicago. So, look, been rewatching the Laker game, been talking a lot about the Rams tonight, but I want to turn my attentions for 1 second to one of my favorite parts of this year's NFL playoffs, and that is old guy quarterbacks all around the league. Think about what I'm about to tell you here. How many old guy quarterbacks there are. Here goes. On Saturday afternoon, the Colts will play the Bills. Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers hasn't been in the playoffs in probably 6 or 7 years. He made it to the playoffs a few years back with the Chargers in San Diego. Prior to that, different coach, few playoff runs. Never got any further than the AFC Championship game in New England. But Phillip Rivers, in the swan song of his career, and this could be it for Phillip Rivers, Indianapolis against Buffalo. You know, the way Buffalo had beaten up on Miami in the last game of the season, scoring 56 points, a lot of people will go into this game thinking Buffalo is an automatic. They may turn out to be, but I'll tell you right now, if Phillip Rivers does not throw an interception in this game, Indianapolis could shock Buffalo. And Phillip Rivers is like 38 years old, and here he is back in the playoffs. In the middle afternoon game, the Rams and the Seahawks, which has obviously been what we've been talking about tonight, the John Wolford situation. Does Wolford give you a better chance against Seattle this Saturday than Jared Goff? Sean McVay said earlier today, I'm not going to tell you who our starting quarterback is. The next question, the follow-up, coach, but let's just say, hypothetically, that Jared Goff is cleared to play. Will Jared Goff start? And Coach McVay's like, I'm not talking about it. Why would he? Why give any competitive advantage at all to Pete Carroll? Keep him guessing all week long. But if I had to make an educated guess, I'll tell you right now, I expect John Wolford to play. And I don't think Jared Goff will even dress for this game. This is just a guess. This is not insider information. This is not coming from any medical staff. It's just based on, can a guy come back and play in an NFL football game 2 weeks after having his thumb broken and then surgically repaired? Russell Wilson, earlier in the year, everybody's talking about MVP candidate. People were saying things like, can you believe that Russell Wilson has never gotten a vote for MVP? And then things really tailed off because Russell Wilson had 10 turnovers in 4 games in the middle of the season. But then Seattle's defense started to get things together. Russ started to cook, as people like to say. DK Metcalf is an impact player, and their running game started to come back together, and all of a sudden, Seattle, 2 weeks later, will host the Rams again, different quarterback. Got to get Cooper Kupp back, and here's the thing about Kupp. We just automatically assume that when a guy comes back and comes off COVID, that they just walk right back in and they're back to who they were. If you know anybody who's had COVID, some people have long-lasting effects, so I don't know what Cooper Kupp is going to be. I hope he's Cooper Kupp. You know, there's talk about Andrew Whitworth making it back this week, finally, after a knee injury halfway through the season. That would be a huge help for the Rams. So this Rams game, real interesting. If I'm being completely honest, I don't have real high hopes. You know, I mean, it would be a really big upset if the Rams could go on the road with this backup quarterback in his second start of his career and could find a way to win this game. It would be amazing if the Rams could figure out a way to win this game, and it would be a heck of a coaching job. Tampa Bay in the evening game on Saturday with Tom Brady. Is this it for Tom Brady? I don't think so. I think Tom Brady will keep on going. Playing against Washington, what a matchup here. You know, Alex Smith, what an incredible story. This was a guy who had his leg broken in half, worse than Joe Theismann, old schoolers out there. And not only was he fighting to keep his leg, there was a time where he was fighting to save his life. For him to have made it back to even participate in an NFL training camp, let alone become a starting quarterback of a team and lead them into the playoffs. Now, look, we can all talk about what Philadelphia did on Sunday night. Let me stop for a moment and make a comment. What Doug Peterson did on Sunday Night Football for the Philadelphia Eagles was an embarrassment to the NFL. And for those of you that don't know the story real well, it's a 3-point ball game. If Philadelphia wins, Washington is out and the New York Giants are in. I got no compassion for the Giants, but here's what I will say. Everybody on the field is competing. All those guys from Philadelphia were still fighting and wanting to win. And the coach takes out the starting quarterback and puts in a third-string guy, and then after the game defends it like I was just trying to win the game. Well, I don't know about you guys. If he was trying to win that game, Doug Peterson should be fired for a terrible decision. And if he wasn't, And that was a demand from the front office. Take out this kid because we want to move from the 9th pick to the 6th pick, and we want to sacrifice this game. If that's the case, if I were Doug Peterson, I'd resign. There are plenty of good NFL head coaching jobs out there right now, and Peterson would probably get scooped up pretty quickly. Seriously, he's a good coach. Pretty good. But he's not going to have the respect of players if he's just going to be a puppet like that for his ownership. And let me tell you something. To do it on Sunday Night Football, the final game of the regular season with the whole country watching with playoff implications, and you pull this guy out, and then you lie to everybody, oh, I was trying to win the game, thought this guy'd do better. That was bad. And then he's just getting trampled by everybody. I mean, everybody's talking about this, like what Doug Peterson did. He he's like, hey, my decision, if that was your decision, fire this guy. Then he's not a good coach. Tampa Bay and Washington. What a game on Saturday. Tom Brady and his incredible GOAT career versus Alex Smith and the inspirational story that he is and the incredible career that he's had. He's not going to Canton, Ohio. But I'll tell you right now, Alex Smith has had one insane career. Starting as a number 1 overall pick and in San Francisco with every year change of head coach, change of offensive coordinator, finally becomes entrenched as a starter, wins postseason games against New Orleans, dramatic comeback wins, and eventually gets replaced by Colin Kaepernick. Goes to Kansas City, has a good year. They draft Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't take long before he's gone. And then comes back from this broken leg. Insane story. Alex Smith versus Tom Brady, incredible. Love this game on Saturday. But you got a lot of old guy quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, Alex Smith. That's on Saturday. And then on Sunday, Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. Could this be it for Drew Brees, who already has a job waiting for him at NBC Sports? Ben Roethlisberger taking on the Cleveland Browns late on Sunday evening, who every year threatens retirement. Pretty interesting game. Pretty interesting storyline. I'll tell you the game that I think is the most interesting game of the entire weekend, and it's only Tuesday, but we're talking about it on Sunday. Baltimore, Tennessee. No idea. Lamar Jackson, the reigning MVP, against, I think, one of the more underrated players in the NFL, Ryan Tannehill, quarterback of Tennessee. 2,000-yard ball carrier in Derrick Henry. I mean, I'm telling you, Tennessee is one of those teams that if they make it to the Super Bowl, I'll look back and I'll go, yeah, I'm just not really that surprised. Good quarterback, can run the ball, can throw the ball, smart, paid his dues, 2,000-yard running back, can control the clock, decent defense, coach who was a great player and a Super Bowl champion. I could see Tennessee shocking the world and making it all the way through the AFC. Although I haven't even mentioned Kansas City, who seems to be on a planet all of their own, even though sometimes, they don't blow a lot of people out, but they find ways to just win every week, even close games. And so while Kansas City will sit around and wait, and Green Bay will sit around and wait for the wild card weekend, this is the way it's got to be. NFL, this is awesome. You talk about things that got better during COVID. The NFL now having 7 teams in the playoffs from each conference and a wild card weekend of 3 straight games on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. This is awesome. Sunday night, by the time we get to Pittsburgh, Cleveland, I hope Cleveland's got enough bodies to coach and to play. Today, Cleveland's coach Kevin Stefanski finds out he's got a positive COVID test. So now the special teams coach has to become the head coach, and the offensive coordinator becomes the play caller, and everybody in that organization is literally showing up at work tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. hoping that they have a negative test because they want to play and they want to coach. Incredible. What a weekend coming up in the NFL. What a great weekend on the way. Wow. What a weekend it was. I'm telling you, man. I mean, really, this Philadelphia thing is still, it just sticks with me. Why this coach would, at that game, Sunday night, the whole world watching, playoff contention, 2 teams sitting on the other end going, who's going to make, could we possibly get in? Could the Giants possibly get in? They beat Dallas earlier in the day. Could we get in if they win? And then they pull the quarterback out. And you see these Philadelphia Eagles, these players talking afterwards, how they didn't want the coach to do it, how a couple guys had to be restrained. Guys are crying in press conferences. We put everything into it. And this guy takes his quarterback out. Man, it was crazy. It really was. All right, listen, it is a Tuesday night. We had a very short show tonight because of the Laker game and then Laker postgame. Lakers victorious 94-92 over Memphis. 4 straight wins on the road. 26 points tonight for AD, 26 points for LeBron. And the Lakers will come home and they'll play on Thursday. So it's been a very short night. Tomorrow night, we're going to get back. We're going to be on the air at 7 o'clock. We'll be off the air tomorrow night at 10. We'll start infusing more of your phone calls. We'll start bringing on some interesting people. But tonight, first night on the air, wanted to wish everybody a happy new year, wanted to take your calls, and definitely wanted to ramble about a lot of things that we saw this past weekend. All right, stick around. Some final thoughts on the way. Glad everybody's with us tonight, whether you're listening on radio, you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all of these platforms. Glad you're with us tonight. Final thoughts on the way. It's Scott Kaplan on 710 ESPN.
Sports Talk Now goes until 10 p.m. each weeknight on 710.
LA's mega sports station.
This is the Scott Kaplan Show.
It's Scott Kaplan, live and local on 710 ESPN.
All right, another one of those Hollywood nights. Scott Kaplan on 710 ESPN. We're back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. We're on 7 to 10 tomorrow. We'll get a little crosstalk with Sedano and LZ. and then we will be on our way. We'll have the full 3-hour complement tomorrow night, and then we'll turn our attentions on Thursday night back to the Lakers and San Antonio. Lakers beat San Antonio twice in San Antonio, then turned around, went to Memphis, beat the Grizzlies twice, including tonight's game, 94-92. And we'll be home Thursday night to take on San Antonio. I'm just rewatching the game right now on Spectrum. There's about 3 minutes to go in the third quarter on the replay. And LeBron just hit that big three from the top and just stood there and talked. I wish the microphones could pick up what these guys were saying better. I'd really love to hear it because it is so quiet and dark looking in NBA arenas right now, isn't it? Isn't it weird? Like when we had the bubble, because of all of the virtual fans, the TV presentation made it feel in some way like there were people there, even though there weren't anybody there. The players were like, dude, it was dreary and quiet and weird. And the broadcasters that were there were saying, dude, the way you hear it on TV is not the way we hear it right here inside the gym. But now you're playing all these games in big arenas, and all the seats are tarped like it's a Charger home game. You know what I mean? Like all the seats are tarped off like, hey, we don't want you to see the empty seats. But they're all empty. And it's kind of strange. I wonder sometimes, do these players wish that there were fans there because they feed off the energy? Or are they actually liking the fact that there's no yelling, screaming, distractions, you suck, or flashes of cameras? I just wonder. My gut would tell me that these guys would much rather be playing in front of big crowds and feeding off of the energy. But it is strange. The bubble was one thing. The virtual fans made it look interesting. These games just look like empty, quiet, like scrimmages in a weird way. But hey, listen, the veteran professionals that are LeBron and AD, you just go out and you play ball, and you bank these wins. I really didn't expect much from the Lakers early in the season. I was saying give them a month. Give them 20 of 70 games, work their way into shape, work out the different lineups. I'll tell you one I really liked, by the way. Tonight, I was noticing this during the game, a lineup I really, really liked. LeBron, Montrez, Wesley Matthews, Kuzma, and AD. Those 5 guys on the floor at the same time. So LeBron, AD, Montrez, Wesley, and Kuzma. That lineup, those 5 guys, that's a good line. In fact, that's where they are in the game right now. 63-58, third quarter, 4:30 to go. I'm watching the replay. For those of you that are just getting with us, I'm watching the replay. The Lakers actually won earlier tonight, 94-92. Hey, this is really cool, by the way. Just total side note. As I'm watching the Laker replay over here, I turned off the political coverage that's going on down in Georgia, and I don't know why, but I turned on the live stream of what we've got going on because I wanted to see what it looked like on my big screen TV in the studio. So I want to say that the video live stream is presented by our friends at Puente Hills Toyota. Puente Hills Toyota is the house of yes, right? You walk in, you're like, yo, is this Puente Hills Toyota? They're like, yes. Yo, you got some Camrys all up in here? They're like, yes, we do. We're the house of yes. And so I'm watching what we're doing now, and it's so cool to have us broadcast on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, to do live streams on all these different platforms, and to be out there with you tonight in your car as you're driving around on traditional terrestrial radio. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Curtis Poindexter in our home-based studios in downtown LA. Curtis, you're producing the radio show, but are you watching any of the video feed we got going on tonight?
I checked out the Instagram one you had. I should follow you on Twitch. We need to see if you got the station any new subs. That's what they call it on Twitch.
Yeah, I also need the station to get a whole bunch of new subs on YouTube as well. I think a lot of times we in radio think, well, if we push people to YouTube and we push people to Twitch and we push people to Twitter and we've got them watching on Facebook, well, then they're not going to listen on the radio. And I disagree with that philosophy, because I think that you've got to go today in 2021, the second day of 2021, you got to go to wherever people are at. And more often than not, people have their phones. And in today's COVID world, people are at home and they've got their laptop or their desktop or whatever. So I'm seeing people that are on our YouTube channel that are saying, I just subbed on YouTube and on Twitch. So, Curtis, as a gamer, I would think Twitch is like a regular platform for you.
I don't have cable. You know me, I don't pay for cable. So I actually watch a lot of people playing stuff because sometimes I'm too cheap to buy a game, but you can watch someone else play it in the background as like background noise or whatever. Twitch is great.
Hold on. You would say, hey, look, I want to buy this video game, but I'm too cheap. So rather than buy it and play it, I'll watch somebody else play it on Twitch. Is that right?
Yeah, man. I don't have that disposable income like that.
Dude, I'm feeling you, dog. I am.
And a lot of those streamers that do that have millions of people watching, and it's a real thing.
No, I believe it. Is it Ninja? Is he still the head guy?
Yeah.
Ninja?
Yeah, there's a handful of them though. There's so many, man.
Did I understand that the actor Jack Black is now like a famous gamer too? Is that right?
He's a YouTuber, I believe, but maybe I should take that up too. Get some pocket money.
I don't know, man. Here's what I can tell you. It is our first broadcast of 2021, and it's no longer just a radio broadcast here. It's now a video broadcast on digital platforms. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Hey, thanks to Steve Paylette, who is running our board tonight. We appreciate you, Steve, always, buddy. We really do. Curtis Poindexter in producing tonight. Thank you so much.
We'll run it back.
Yeah. Hey, Janice, for all of the help with getting all these different video feeds. We appreciate you. And we are back tomorrow night in our regular time slot of 7 p.m. Until then, for the entire crew here at 710 ESPN, Scott Kaplan saying, peace.